Sorry for the late update, but it's been incredibly hectic around here. So, what I've gotten done this last week, the major thing, as you can see from all these scraps of PEX laying around, the major thing was getting this dual zone freeze-proof water line in place. I'll show you how it works real quick. One line goes to here. It's going to have a spigot on it. That's for my gardening work and stuff, not related to the wood shop. It runs up along the purlin there and then curves around and then goes to that T right there. And we have another line that goes across the top of this truss, curls down, and it's eventually going to go out through the wall right there. And where everything comes together right here, we're going to have this manifold. This is just a mock-up, but this is basically how it's going to be. We have two unions here. This part's going to be disconnected. This part right here will go down into this hole. This part will be screwed onto the hydrant over there. Screw everything together. It's just going to slide in this hole, and then the other part will be connected, and depending on what zone needs to be operated, either one zone, two zones, or no zones, you adjust the valves whatever way it needs to be to do that. And all that's covered in a different video on Planet Mojo, and when I finally solder that up, I'll explain all that. Another thing that I did was seal up all of these gable openings. There should not be air coming in through there, and there was. The only air should be coming up through the soffits, and it should work its way up and go out the gable vents. If you have air coming in over here as well, it's going to leave hot spots in the corner, and it'll just mess up the whole ventilation system. When the Amish made these soffit panels, they made them all with these vents punched into them, and I didn't notice it at the time. I had the Amish put on the tin. They put these punched vents along the gable end, and these should just be solid. So it took, I think, 3 days to get that sealed, and we had bugs coming in up there. I got that sealed as well. That took about a day, and I also installed this diagonal brace. This was the hardest. I had all three of the other ones installed last year and was kind of waiting on this one until I did this other stuff up here. So all of that's done now. And finally, this has nothing to do with the wood shop really. Well, kind of, but I'll show it to you anyways because it took a lot of time last week. This stuff was done, I believe, 2 weeks ago. We got this wall in, and when we dug out this area, all of these boulders came out of this little area. So we got this rock wall built, and I pressure washed this and got it all nice and neat looking. And we also put in this sewer pipe, storm sewer. So when we get excess water in this area, it'll go in through there and come out way over there. We also got a little road going up to the pasture over there and put the rest of the boulders right here. We have a road going up. It's not quite done yet. I believe he's going to be bringing gravel and finishing that off next week. And we're going to be putting a concrete apron in front of this door, as well as continuing heavier gravel over to the road here. So that's about it for this week's update. And again, I'm sorry for the delay. We had family over for the last 4 days, and there was no time to make the update. So next week's update will be on time, and we'll be putting this heavy cable in from here up into the rafters and over to where the sub panel will be. That's the sub panel right there. But before that, I'm going to be putting in attic lights so that I have lights when I blow in the insulation up there. Besides the attic lights and that big heavy cable going across, there's only 3 other things on the punch list before I start getting the ceiling in place. One of them is the partition wall that's going to separate the wood shop from the garage area over there. Another one is putting in the rest of these joists, which is going to hold up the ceiling. And the final one is testing the propane line and the water line for leaks. So make sure you subscribe and stick around for a couple of weeks. We should be working wood in no time.